Hey guys, how are you? Today I'm going to show you what kind of negative external features you need to avoid seeing from your front door.
Make sure to support the channel. You hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the little alert icon so you can be alerted when new videos come out.
Hey guys, oh well there he goes. He's been on my lap all this time. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to shoot the video. So I had cat paralysis. My cat would not get off my dang lap. So he's actually sitting next to me and he's probably just hungry. So today I wanted to talk about external features, and I wanted to specifically look at some negative features that we need to kind of be looking for in our external environment. Why is our external environment so important? So just the way our internal environment, is important, and it kind of gives us a clue into what's going on. Our external environment is extremely important to us because it shows us the type of energy that is coming into our space. So today I'm going to give you a few examples of things you shouldn't see in your immediate environment, and I'm going to tell you how it actually affects you. When we're doing Feng Shui, the first assessment that is done is on the external environment. This is because this tells us what sort of energy is coming into your home. So one of the first things we look at, of course, I've talked about your front door, but when you look and you're doing Feng Shui, start out very slow. Just start out simple. Take a look outside of your door. Take a look outside of all your windows. Take a little walk around the perimeter of your space and just look and identify if there's anything you need to clean up around your space. So this can be things like, maybe just you've cleaned out and you did some construction work and you just dumped some crap by, the side of your house and you're going to clean it up later. Let's identify that and let's clean that up. I know when I first moved into my house, we actually got our house as a bank-owned property because the previous owners just trashed the house out. And so when we moved in, we had a lot of cleanup to do in the yard, but it had things like couches and old tires. And when you have stuff like that outside your home, it affects the energy that comes into your home. And a lot of times it's harder to clean up because it's big stuff, but just start slowly by just kind of breaking some of that stuff down and making sure all the trash from around your immediate environment is cleaned up. Some things we can't control, like our neighbors' trash and stuff like that, but other things that we can control, we should definitely take charge, and we need to clean these areas up. And this includes like the alley. I know we don't have trash cans that we set out in the front. We actually have alleys, and so we have a little space that the trash truck comes and dumps the trash bin. And so I have the trash bins right outside my back gate. And so people always dump crap out there because they just can. And so, periodically I'll tell my son, hey, you're taking that trash out, make sure there's no trash around that. Make sure the area is like mowed and clean and raked up and there's not extra crap, outside, because it's in relation to my space. I want to make sure I keep all of that clean. So let's make sure we do that, okay? Another thing you can do, this is a little bit more of a bigger scale, but you can look in your environment, and you can see whether or not you have immediate concerns. So something you need to look for is a very close proximity to like pylons, electric pylons, and 5G towers, radio towers, stuff like that. I'm kind of in a distance from my window, actually my office window. You can see there's a radio tower. And I was so angry because one day an extra one just popped up out of nowhere. I was like, how do you even just like add a whole extra tower without even me noticing? So I was like, was that my imagination or did the whole extra tower pop up? And so I guess they did it pretty quick, and it has some lovely 5G panels on it. I don't like it in close proximity to my home. It's not super close. So we can kind of, use your common sense and think the closer it is to you, the more it affects you, okay? I have some lovely pictures on my website. I'm going to kind of show them here. I had a really fun blog post called WTF, What the Feng Shui. And I enjoyed doing this one because me and my husband like to drive around a lot, especially right now. We're limited on our dates and we can't really go out to eat a lot, and we're just avoiding all that right now. And And so we're just limited right now, right? But even before that, me and my husband just like to take drives and just get out of the house. We'll just drive around and look at different parks and stuff like that. And one of the things that I like to have him do is drive me around to look at like crazy feng shui, right? So I'll take pictures of the external feng shui, and I enjoy sharing it and just keeping it for like examples. But I have these on my website, and these are some examples of some things you can avoid, like really close proximities, like a water tower, a 5G tower, and roads that intersect your doorway. Okay, I'll have an example of right there. It's in really close proximity to a flyover on a highway, and that actually does affect, you can look out your front door and see what you see, and that actually does affect the amount or like the type of energy that's coming into your home. And of course, trees in really close proximity to the front door, there's just stuff like that. So some things, again, we can't control, like the flyover on the highway or the towers outside of our home. But if we have a choice, you can always pick a different apartment. If you're apartment shopping and you see this, you can always pick a different apartment to live in. So how does this actually affect you? How does external environment affect your internal? How does this actually work? Okay, so when you have a feature that is negative like that, it can actually, and it's like an aggressive form. There's different types of what are called chi, or different types of energy. There's generally 5 different types. One of them is called sha chi. It's a negative chi. It actually means like negative chi or killing chi. And although I don't believe it will kill you, it can actually affect your health. So what you need to actually just do is kind of look at where it is in proximity and where it's located out within your home. If you look at the front door and you don't really see it, maybe it's off to the side a little bit, and the area, the area, maybe you see it from your living room. But you know what? You don't spend a lot of time in your living room. You don't sleep or eat there a lot. You're not spending lots of time there. Then you're probably not really going to be affected by this. Another thing that can happen though is in the long term that you actually are not affected for many years, and 1 year comes in and some negative yearly energies, those negative dynamic energies come in, then you will feel effects, and maybe you're like, what is going on and why am I having issues right now? A good example of this that I would have to do a case study to see all the details, but what I noticed is that I have a friend that she lives in this neighborhood, and there's a part of the neighborhood, we actually have underground power lines, so I look out and I actually don't have power lines in close proximity to my home or those pylons, which is great, but there is a part of the neighborhood that it gets all the wiring and power from the power station that's down the road. And so coming from that power station are these really, really large pylons, and they actually go right behind my kid's school, which I always hate it. You can actually hear the buzzing. It's really crazy. A lot of electromagnetic going on there, right? A lot of electricity. And so they actually back the neighborhood. So there's several rows of houses that actually have these pylons in their backyard, really, really close proximity to their space. So I have a friend that used to live in one of the houses that was backed by that pylon, and she actually lived there for several years. She didn't have any problems, any issues or anything like that. But 1 year, she experienced some very traumatic just events going on, and a lot of turmoil in her life, and it actually resulted in her I think her landlord ended up like selling the house and telling her they really just had to move, and so I don't blame the pylons, but what I'm saying is sometimes those yearly energies come in and they aggravate those negative features, and it really just takes a feng shui professional to kind of tell you why that might be occurring, or to kind of maybe even predict like, well, this person might get sick, or this year might come in and it might affect a person in a certain way. So I mean, it's kind of a case-by-case basis, but it actually will affect you. And I do believe our personal energy that, that we're born with, that I've talked about before, actually is reflected in our environment and where we choose to live. So I do believe it all goes hand in hand. So it's some pretty interesting stuff. It's really hard nowadays to really move to a space that doesn't have something like that in view. What you can do is you can look at the positive features of your home, the positive feng shui areas of your home, and you can actually just bump up the feng shui in those. And sometimes you can do things like adding a really beautiful water feature, some nice external landscaping, some stuff like that, and really beautify and make the area nice, and then you can kind of do that, and it bumps up the other areas. It's like enhancing an area that you think is pretty, and to negate an area that is not nice. So if you think about this, okay, we all have like our best features that we feel like we're born with, right? People always compliment my eyes, and so it would be a thing like enhancing my eyes because I don't like my nose or something, right? So it's along the same thing. If I had a really bad ears, I would enhance my hair to cover my to cover my bad ears or something like that. So it's the same type of concept. You enhance the good features and stuff like that, so you can kind of negate the bad features that are in your home. So I hope that makes sense. And you can actually do this too by using some of those yearly energies to give you a boost. Some of the areas I talk about in my the best areas for 2020 and each year that follows. Every year has a dynamic energy that comes in, and to have better energies for that year. Different spaces have different energies within your home. So just use the best energies that you have at the time, and just leave the areas that are actually affected outside your space. Try to not use those areas as much, and this is how we can actually negate some of that energy. All right, guys, if you have one of these negative external features outside your home, talk to me. Why don't you comment below and tell me, like, what do you see outside? Do you see trash outside your home? I have that radio tower. I have two now. So comment below, tell me what you see outside your home if you happen to see a negative external feature, and we can kind of talk about how you can fix it, okay? Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I really love to hear the feedback, and I want to make sure everyone understands and is actually able to use the information that I give them, okay? So again, interact with me. Visit my website at fengshuibycandice.com. Be part of that interactive forum. All you got to do is do the thing and join the page, and you can start posting on those forums anytime. And also make sure you support the channel by liking, subscribing, and turning that little alert icon on so you can be notified when there's new videos. I'll talk to you guys later.